Hello everybody, I was having a think the other day and I was thinking about my first ever Minecraft world and I thought, I wonder if it's still on my PlayStation. So I went back to my PlayStation and here it is, here I am. This is my first ever Minecraft character, the first ever Minecraft me. And here I am in my first ever world. I didn't know very much about Minecraft at all back then. I played in Peaceful, I just liked building things and I was pretty clueless, to be honest with you. But I think the world I'm stood in, I played in for about a year and it's probably about 4 or 5 years old now. But I went back on and I thought I'd give you a bit of a tour of it. So here we are down at the bottom. As you can see, I was fairly creative. You'll see a lot of cobblestone in this because I couldn't be bothered going and collecting the resources everywhere. But what you'll see as well is I built a huge wall going all the way around the area. That I was kind of, well, it was my base really, but, and I just built a huge wall around it. You'll see as well as I go around there are lots and lots of unfinished projects because I kind of just had this habit of leaving things just half complete. I wasn't massively adventurous in some areas. You'll just see there like the bridge just randomly changes colour, and some of the builds are very, very square. This one in particular is supposed to be like a tree house, so I left the tree trunk running up the middle of it, but there was not much to it. This is before as well I knew about Hermitcraft. It's before I watched many Minecraft videos on YouTube or anything like that, and this was basically just, a lot of this is just from my head. It's not actually, particularly inspired by any YouTubers or anything that I was watching. So that's what, well, that's why some of it is a bit bland and some of it just, like I say, randomly changes wood style halfway through. So the tree houses were the first things I built in this world, and then I built this huge bridge going across and I planted the trees. And I actually remember I planted these when I only just found out that trees grew in the game, so I planted these along here myself. You can see they're just different types of tree as well. There isn't any order to it. And here we've got the house, which I ended up turning into the entrance to the bridge over there. But as you can see, it's an unfinished project. Now that castle there, I look back now and think, oh, that is awful. It's so boring and square. But back then, I didn't really know about using stairs to kind of make builds look interesting and slabs and things like that. And I'm not 100% sure if all the slabs were in the game at this point when I started doing this. So yeah, I did what a lot of people do on Minecraft, is the first thing you often build is a castle, isn't it? Because it does lend itself quite well to building castles, doesn't it? So there was not much to this area really. I didn't even think of doing interiors or anything like that at this point. So you get a few simple interiors, like you get carpet and things like that, but not much else. So what you can see there, that building in the front, that was actually part of the terrain, and the reason why I started building this area is because the terrain was quite interesting. So I hollowed the inside of it out because the whole mountain leant over like that, and I hollowed the inside of it out and turned it into a house. So I'll go up there in a minute so you can have a look. So down here is where the storage area was. So just in this room. So this is where I was storing things, but clearly I didn't have many things. I didn't even know what a lot of things even did as well back then, because all I wanted to do was build. So I was on Peaceful, so I never did anything other than just build. So here we've got a couple of little houses that I just use as kind of workstations really, and I made a little garden as well. So you've just got lines of flowers here really, nothing too fancy. So I think if we go down these stairs here, which is also isn't finished, you'll see you could bang your head there. This little bit was a bit inspired by SeaWorld, where you walk through in the aquariums and the fish are going above your head. So I built this little area, but it doesn't look very good because I think there's a change in biome halfway across, so the water looks different. So obviously this was all brand new to me when I was building this, because I didn't really know much about Minecraft, to be honest with you. It was just experimenting as I went. Later on in some of the builds, you can see a little bit of an influence, because I think later on I started watching a few YouTube channels of people playing Minecraft, but I didn't. Not many. Not many. So yeah, I've got the little river there flowing under the footpath, which I thought was quite clever. Down here you've got like a little campfire with some benches around it that you can sit on, with little shelters. Yeah, I wasn't massively adventurous with the fencing or anything like that, but still does look. I think it looks fairly interesting. But you can see a lot of cobblestone. So here was kind of like a Roman Colosseum type, you know, a Greek maybe. Would you say Greek? I don't know. There's a little pond area with some lights in the bottom and a little fountain. Yeah, that was the entrance or the exit, should I say. That leads to the outside. And if you go up here, there's just a little garden area built up on platforms. And see the trapdoors there that I put on the side. It never occurred to me before that point that you could use things for not what they're called. So like I would only use trapdoors as trapdoors, and that's when I started to realise you could use them for decoration. And I remember that specifically, even though it was quite a few years ago now. And obviously Minecraft was being updated as I was playing this, so there was a few new things added into it as I was playing it. So if we just go back down here, this is a little mining hut I had, and I actually dug out underneath all the way to bedrock and put some glass in it there, so you can see it going all the way down. And there's a huge mine down there that I made. Obviously I was a big fan of the cobblestone still. So here some little houses, but what I did as well is have glass roofs, and there's a river flowing over the top of the roofs. So you can see there in all three houses. I should say, by the way, I had a different texture back on when I was playing this, which is why some of the choices of blocks look a bit odd, because I had the natural texture back on. So there you can see the roofs there where I put the water going over the top. This building now on my left is probably one of my best builds in this area, because I started to think about it then and get a bit more creative, and which is not bad. There's a tree right in the middle of it, but I quite like that. Down here we've got another little garden area, with a fire, so you can sit around the fire. And just up here, I think this is unfinished, this area as well. Got a little water feature if you like. And back up here there's another little garden area with a little place to sit, and you can look out over the walls, because there is walls all the way around it, even though they are very, very boring cobblestone walls. There's another little farm there. I quite like that farm because I quite like the choice of blocks. Another little entrance to the mine as well. It's quite funny in here. So here was where the precious items were stored, because I was going to make a little bank. But I didn't even know what most of this stuff did. I didn't even know what the books did or anything. I never enchanted anything. All I did was build. Never fought anything, never fought any zombies, just built and built and built. Because it was all on peaceful. So I've hollowed out this entire mountain. So this actually, I haven't built this, it's hollowed out. So I hollowed out this whole area and created those staircase. Sorry, that staircase going up. Clearly I needed dirt in that chest. So going up here we've got another level, which is all empty because I hadn't finished working on this area either. And you can see down there from the top some of the earlier builds, the tree houses. The earliest builds in this are those two tree houses you can just see there to the left. Yep, just there. Just basically wooden squares. Yeah. So up here on the top there was originally a minecart roller coaster going around the mountain, but when you rode it, it was just a bit silly, so I dug it all up. But you can see there's a few channels running through the they're just down there where the track used to go. And here is where I had my enchanting area, which I didn't really understand. I just built it because it looked good. I actually think that was right near the very, very end when I was beginning to learn actually what like enchanting was. But I put it all the way at the top of the mountain. It was a pain to get to, so I think I just dug it all up. Yeah, and here was me. I was experimenting with like using slabs and using blocks later on. Because this was all built over a long period of time. So There was, like I say, there was extra stuff being added. This is one of the things they used to put in with a lot of these, is you'll see a few of these around like diving boards, because it just gets you down to the bottom really quickly. So there's a few of them around. Yeah, and you'll notice lots of huge towers with fires on them, because I used to get lost all the time. So I used to have these big beacons to help me find my way back home if I needed it. Yeah, so just getting back out the water now. And again, I haven't finished this staircase properly going into the water, so you have to kind of... Yeah, and you have to jump across there because there's no proper walkway. Okay, so going back up, we're now going into... I used to call it the hanging house, because it's actually built into the rock and it's hanging down. But as I say, that house there, the square stone block, that was like that. I just hollowed it out and tried to neaten it up. So here's the little house I built in here. I was a bit more creative in here, I think. A bit more adventurous. I must have been watching some YouTube videos by now, because you can see a little bit of inspiration, because I'm thinking outside the box a little bit there. But yeah. So if we go up here, this is where the roller coaster used to stop. Just there. And you could get on it and it would fire you all the way up and up to the top of the hill. Yeah, so this was the track it used to go on. I just replaced it with stairs. It used to run all the way up here. There's not actually much consistency in the way I was building or the style or anything like that, because I just thought, oh, that seems like a good idea. I'll just build it, and just went and built it. I didn't try to make anything match very much. I just let my imagination run wild, if you like. So that's why it all just seems very random. And like I say, cobblestone was the easiest to access, so that's why I was building with that a lot. And I'm about to get attacked by a zombie, because I thought I was on peaceful when I was recording this, but I wasn't, apparently. I nearly died, but I don't. It's okay. Okay, so again, we're back there now in the carved out hillside. I have noticed on this that your health doesn't recover as quick than it does on Java. So, going back out, we've got this is where my horse and sheep and some of my cows and things like that were all stored, and the chickens. But again, I didn't really know what to use any of the resources for other than eating, so I didn't collect a lot of them, and that's where the storage area is, just so you get context. So in the distance there, you can see a big house, and that was the biggest build on this area. It didn't look like that when I was building it, because I had a natural texture pack on, but it still looked fairly okay. It looked a bit more interesting with the texture pack. And here's the stables with the horses, and I thought I was being really creative putting those staircases upside down there. I think I named this horse. Yeah, Mickey I called him. Yeah, a little workstation area, and if you go up to the top, there was like a barn to store the hay. Yeah. So down there in front of the house, there's a couple of little houses as well, which I'll go down to in a second. Just down here, and yeah, there you go. These houses are all identical, I think. They've got identical interiors as well. It's just a bed and books. What else do you need in life? Just a bed and books, that's enough. And there's a little pond area there with some benches to sit around. And just round the back here, next to the pond, you'll see like a wishing well, and then this is the blacksmith area here. Yeah, I think I was trying to create a bit of a story and a bit of an interesting environment, really, with this. That's a similar design, that bridge going over the top as well. So here is one of the bigger builds in the level. So I really like the floor on here, but it didn't look like this on the texture pack. The sandstone looked white, so the floor was more white than it is kind of yellowy brown now. Yeah, and this is only half finished as well. So you've got a couple of fireplaces there, believe it or not. And going up onto the top floor, there's like a dining area. Now I do like this area now. That's probably another favourite area. And I can tell you, I was definitely beginning to watch YouTube videos now, because the way that table is designed, I remember seeing it on a YouTube video. Yeah, I don't think it did bad, considering I didn't really know much about the game, and and this is my first ever world. I don't think it did too bad, to be honest with you. I just spent hours and hours and hours on this world. Now, as we go off this bridge, see the building to the so that obviously the very square that treehouse there, but to the left, that was the very first thing I built in this world. Just going up these stairs now. So this little treehouse is the very first thing I built. It's just a basic treehouse, really. There's nothing much to it. Bit of carpet and some storage. Yeah, and there it is. There is my world. This is what I built. So that's it, really. I don't think I did too bad. I thought I'd just share that with you. It's quite a few years ago since I played that. I just thought people might find it quite interesting. I look back at it with fond memories. I laugh at some areas. Some areas I kind of think, oh, that's quite cool. And then some areas I think, why didn't I finish that? It looks awful. So thank you very, very much for watching. Just thought I'd share that with you. Have a great week, and I'll catch you in my next Let's Play video.